The Windsor Knot PodcastWryly humorous duo Joe Skrebels and Daniel Krupa offer an antidote to royal wedding fever, just in case any does break out and affect your life. Yes, they're examining all things Prince Harry and Meghan Markle with a pleasing discussion of the uncut version of Mrs. Doubtfire and the idea of a future royal hanging out on a sitcom set. If you've ever laid awake at night wondering what Prince Harry's surname is, have a listen because there are obscure facts aplenty. 2. HV The Onion's a very fatal murder podcast. The Onion Public Radio's spoof on the successful true crime podcast genre is smart and subtly hilarious. Host David Pascal has the classic crimey voice overlooked as he lurks in the small town of Bluff Springs investigating the murder of a clear-skinned, 17-year-old prom queen. It milks every true crime cliché known to podcasters, from the gruesome way the victim was stabbed, shot and drowned to the witness who's always a waitress. Pascal's desperation for downloads and reviews is relentless. HV Your Picks, History Remixed, Ethics and a Dollop of Americana making gay history as a bisexual, trans woman. It's amazing to hear the stories from pioneers of the LGBTQ+ community. The host Eric speaks to interviewees, some famous, others not, who talk about major milestones such as the AIDS epidemic and Stonewall. It's important to know whose shoulders you stand on when continuing the fight for LGBTQ+ rights, and for those seeking a greater understanding to be an ally. Although the episodes focus mainly on American activists, we are one global community and hearing these stories is inspirational. Recommended by Rachel G. Short and Curly. Short and Curly is a fast-paced, fun-filled ethics podcast for kids and their parents, with questions and ideas to really get you thinking. My young daughters love this podcast. It's very entertaining, thought-provoking, and perfect for opening up the communication lines. It facilitates discussions and we've been learning how to consider other viewpoints and what we could learn from them. Recommended by Ashley Longmire. The Dollop. The Dollop is an American history podcast that focuses on the weird, controversial, and ridiculous. There are some real gems, like the story of the Witch of Wall Street, whose estate was worth $200 million when she died in 1916, but lived such a frugal life that she never washed and wore one dress for most of her life. They bring the past to life, with its eccentricities and funny voiced characters, intact. Whether someone is a history buff or slept through their classes, I think they'll find something funny and informative in each episode of The Dollop. Recommended by Patrick Barber. Guardian Pick. When relationships and housework collide. The story, Home Truths. Is paying your girlfriend to clean your flat weird? Is it an overreaction to leave the mother of your children because she's messy? I spoke to women and men all over the world, from Paraguay to South Africa, Canada to Leeds, about their domestic beef and bliss for the Home Truths episode of The Guardian's The Story podcast. And while housework isn't the sexiest of topics, it has meaning far beyond who sweeps the kitchen floor. It can say, I respect you, or it can say, I know this matters to you and I still don't care. It can sustain a relationship or be the final straw on one that is already struggling. By tapping into the seemingly mundane details of strangers' lives, we end up learning a lot about partnership, life and love. Recommended by Leah